Afternoon, fellas. I'm Dave Canterbury with Suffer Alliance Outfitters in the Pathfinder School, and I'm kind of sitting under a bridge here. A bunch of swallow nests on it. You can probably see them in the background there in the cracks. A lot of them swimming in and out of here, or excuse me, there's a lot of them flying in and out of here, feeding young babies. Got under here to get in the shade for a little bit. Out here fishing today with the new fishing setup that I'm trying out. I wanted to kind of go over it with you guys. I know you've been looking for some on the water's edge stuff, and I've tried to been doing a lot of kind of stuff that's different lately. So I figured I'd throw some of this stuff in there too. I've got my boat out here today. I've got a 9-foot Boston whaler with a 40-pound thrust Minn-Kota trolling motor on it with a lithium ion phosphate battery made for trolling motors, which makes it more sustainable, easier to charge. I can charge it with solar panels while I'm on the water if I want to. It's got an XT inlet for that. I'll go over that with you guys and show you that battery. 40-pound thrust is plenty big enough to push this 9-foot Boston whaler around in a small lake like I'm fishing now. See if we can't get something on the hook today. Stay with me, guys. Old catfish whacked that freaking rooster tail right now, buddy. Look at that thing. A nice little channel cat right there, boy. Back here in this junk, there's a bunch of stuff laying here on the bed, right on this spot right here. We're gonna hit this for a little bit. Can't get this dude up here in the boat. Nice fish, boy. Nice little channel cat right there. All right, we're catching a few here and there. Just kind of working this weed bed right here. It goes pretty deep out here into the middle of Nowheresville. I'm just kind of throwing around it, staying off of it. It comes 30, 40 yards offshore out here. I'm just kind of throwing along the edge of it, picking up quite a bit of coontail coming up through here, but picking up a snag every now and then. Seeing quite a few fish. About 8 feet of water. Quite a few fish on the fish finder here. Just not hitting real hard right now. Gotta get the hungry one. I thought we'd talk a little bit about my setup here today. I've got a Lowrance hook fish finder here, and it's self-sustained. Got a lithium ion battery of its own up here, and then the cable runs to the back of the boat back here through the transom. I'll show you that. You can just unhook the fish finder right off the battery and take the battery and charge it. Of course, I've got this trolling motor back here. Again, eco-worthy lithium ion phosphate battery on a Endura 40-pound thrust Minn-Kota trolling motor. Again, this battery is a smart battery. You can monitor from your phone. It's also got an input-output XT right here. You can charge it with solar panels easy enough. Okay, so I've been running this thing for a good solid 2 hours. Not full on, but I've been running forward two a lot. Started with 50% on the battery, and I'm at 37%. But again, I've been out here for a solid 2.5 hours maneuvering around. going to and from, things like that. So this battery system does really, really well for something that's fairly ultralight and renewable. Again, way better than lead acid batteries. These lithium ion phosphate batteries have way better charging capability. They're faster. They hold a charge better. They're just not as susceptible to things like cold and heat, and they do a really, really good job. So I'm really happy with this system so far. And I just keep a cooler right here in the bottom I sit on so I can stand up and fish when I want to in the front of the deck here. Simple backpack with a few boxes in it for fishing, different lures, things like that. I got one rod in here right now, and it's a pretty simple, simplistic setup in this Boston Whaler. All right, so here's that Lowrance hook unit, and you can see I've got an ammo box here that just has the cable in it with a fuse and a battery. And so that battery is obviously rechargeable. It's just a lithium ion phosphate battery. And you can take this entire unit out of the boat, or you can just take the hook unit off itself, unplug it from the unit, and carry the unit inside and charge it that way. It's kind of up to you how you want to charge it, but it's rechargeable just like any other lithium battery. And I've got a compartment up here in the front of the boat that's got a fire extinguisher and an extra plug in it. And it just so happens that this thing sits in there at an angle just right like this, where I can drop that lid that's kind of spring loaded on a bungee there, right down on top of it, pull the face off of it, and I've got that Lowrance right there. I store my cable, excess cable in there, and my dock rope at the same time, kind of go both in that side compartment. So it makes a real easy, quick system that's multifunctional in nature right there in that front compartment. Now again, this system's really all about simplicity. So you've got one folding rescue paddle in here. You've got an inflatable life jacket that's CO2 charged. You've got a cooler in here that you can use to sit on, ice drinks, ice fish, things like that, and a couple containers with suction cups on the side, one for pliers and lures, another one I just set my reel into and my drink. And I usually just carry one rod in here, and then I've got that 40-pound thrust trolling motor, and the lithium ion phosphate battery just sits on the other side till I take it to charge it. It's a very, very simple setup. Again, 9-foot Boston Whaler. That motor pushes it more than enough, and it's plenty sustainable that way. This is a great little fishing rig, and I would encourage anyone, especially if you live in a flood area or a possible flash flood area like in West Virginia right now, not to have an 8-10 foot aluminum boat and some kind of a motor, whether that's an electric motor or a small outboard or both, is not being prepped when it comes to emergencies that may happen locally. This boat's small enough, it only weighs 65 pounds empty. You could pick this thing up if you had to and carry it somewhere, throw it in the back of a truck. An aluminum John boat that's 8 or 10 feet is easy enough to put in the back of a 6-foot truck bed and carry it anywhere you want to. I fished like that when I lived in Florida almost every day. So this is a good setup, not only for fishing and on the water's edge stuff, no matter what kind of fishing you're doing. You put a bigger motor on there if you're gonna go on bigger water. Smaller motor is good for small lakes like this one right here. And you're ready in case there's an emergency where you need a boat to go take care of a neighbor, take supplies somewhere that can't be gotten to by vehicle because roads are flooded, but you're prepped if you need to be. As far as fishing tackle storage, I just got an old JanSport rubber bottom backpack here, and I just shove my stuff in there. A couple plain old boxes full of lures, hooks, things like that, whatever I'm gonna fish with for the day. You know, any extra snacks and things also go in there, and I'm ready to rock and roll. I can just throw it from the boat to the truck to the boat. Real simple. All right, guys, listen, I appreciate you joining me today out here on the water's edge for a quick video talking about this boat, talking about my fishing setup, and doing a little fishing out here this morning on the lake today. Just wanted to get that out there. I know you guys love the water's edge videos, and I sure love fishing, but I don't get a lot of chance to do it anymore. I had to do some testing today with some batteries and motors and boats and things like that. So I thought while I was out here, we'd shoot a little video. I appreciate your views. I appreciate your support. I thank you for everything you do for school, for family, for business, for all of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends. I hope you all had a great Father's Day weekend, and I'll see you on the next video, guys. Thanks.